Today we'll start the introduction of Linux, and we're going to understand how important Linux is, and we're also going to understand about the Linux is going to play an important vital role in every infrastructure and platforms. So Redhat Enterprise Linux is in use the most Fortune 500 companies, and it takes care of mission critical tasks in many of them. So Redhat Enterprise Linux, because Redhat Enterprise Linux is one of the topmost Linux operating system, and it is the one which is open source, and it is flexible in the way that we are handling this operating system. We know we have different types of Linux. We have Red Hat, we have RHCSA Linux, we have Ubuntu Linux, etc. Because today Linux in general, Red Hat Linux in particular, it's at heart of IT organizations in many companies. So large parts of internet operates on Linux using popular applications such as Apache Web Server or Squid Proxy Server. Stock exchanges use business in Linux in the real-time calculation systems, and large servers are running essential business applications on top of Oracle and SAP. And Linux has largely replaced Unix, and Red Hat is leading force in Linux. And one reason why Red Hat is being successful since beginning of the level of support and component providers, because Red Hat offers three types of support that gives organizations that confidence they need to run vital business applications on Linux. These three types of Linux support provided by Red Hat is three things. Over here. As I said, the three types of Linux support provided by Red Hat. So first one is second one is so these three supports are important. When come to hardware support, because Red Hat has agreement with every major server hardware vendor to make sure that whatever server a user buys, a hardware vendor will assist them in fixing hardware issues when Red Hat is installed on it. When come to software support, because Red Hat has agreements with every major enterprise software vendor to make sure that their software is properly on top of the Red Hat operating system, and the enterprise software is also guaranteed to run on Red Hat Linux by vendor of operating system. The next one is hands-on support, because this means that if the user is experiencing problems, accomplished tasks with Red Hat software, Red Hat Global Support Organizations is there to help them fixing bugs and providing technical assistance. So it is also important to realize that Red Hat is doing much more, just gathering the software pieces and putting them together on installation media, because Red Hat employs hundreds of developers who work on developing new solutions that will run on Red Hat Enterprise Linux in near future. We have different versions of Linux that what we have. We have Fedora. Let me talk about this Fedora. When talk about Fedora, because even Red Hat is actively developing software to be part of Red Hat Linux, and it is still largely involved in open source community, because the most important approach to do this is by sponsoring the Fedora project, and Fedora is a freely available Linux distribution that is completely compromised of open source software, and Red Hat is providing the funds and people to tackle this project, because both Red Hat and Fedora are free of charge. With Red Hat, we pay only for updates and support. So this Fedora is used as a development platform for latest and greatest versions of Linux, which is provided free of charge for users who are interested. So as such, Fedora can be used, I can say, as a test platform for features will eventually be included Red Hat Enterprise Linux. So some user want to know that what will be included in future versions of Red Hat Linux. So Fedora is the best place to look, and Fedora makes excellent choice to install a personal computer because it offers all the functions that you'll expect from modern operating system, or even some functions that are interested only to home users. So next, Red Hat and Enterprise Linux are related products because Red Hat offers several products which Red Hat Enterprise Linux and JBoss are most important solutions because so there are other offerings in the product catalog as well. So we have, first of all, we have Red Hat Enterprise Linux because the core of Red Hat offering the Red Hat Enterprise Linux. This is the basics for two editions, Server Edition and Workstation Edition. And RHCE Server Edition is a highly successful Red Hat product that is used in organizations around the globe. Sorry. So with Red Hat Linux server, there is a major new release, but every 3 or 4 years. In between major updates, there are minor ones represented by numbers of the .in version number. So apart from this, Red Hat provides patches to fix bugs and to apply security updates. Typically, these patches are applied by using Red Hat Network and certified collections of repositories, while Red Hat makes patches available after verifying them. So that's why. So to download and install all the repositories from Red Hat Network, a current subscription is required. So without current subscription, user can still run RHCE, but no updates will be installed through RHN. So as alternately connecting each server directly with RHN, Red Hat provides a solution called Satellite. Satellite works as a proxy to RHN, and just Satellite server is configured to fetch updates from Red Hat Network, and which Red Hat nodes on network connect to Satellite to access the updates. We have to be aware that there also product called RHA proxy, which is a real caching proxy where a satellite is versioning and a deployment tool. So that's why. So Red Hat Enterprise Linux sometimes this is given for free. Suppose if a user want updates and support, suppose user have to pay for Red Hat Enterprise Linux. So how come people have to buy licenses or GPL software that is supposed to be available for free? Well, the fact is that sources of all the software in RHCL are indeed available for free. So as with many other Linux vendors, Red Hat provides source code for software in RHCL than what users typically buy. However, it's a subscription to be compiled version of the software that is in RHCL. It is a compiled version. So RHCE logo has included. So this is, I can say, this is more than more than just a logo. It is guaranteed to quality of users expect from the leader in Linux software. So the fact is the sources of software contained in RHCL are available for free, and some Linux distributions have used these sources to create their own distributions, and two most significant distributions are CentOS and Scientific Linux. So because of these distributions are built upon Red Hat Linux and with Red Hat logo removed. So the software is basically the same. However, the small binary differences do exist, such as integration of the software with RHN, and most important difference, however, is that these distributions don't offer the same level of support as in RHCL, so we're better off. When come to Red Hat Enterprise Linux Workstation Edition, because the other products that falls under Red Hat Enterprise Linux is a Workstation Edition, because this solution is based on the same node as RHCL server. Also the same license conditions apply for RHCL Workstation, RHCL server, and the user need to current subscription to access the install updates from RHN. To date, an Red Hat Enterprise Linux Workstation has not experienced the same level of success as Red Hat Enterprise Linux server is experienced. So we have different types of Red Hat add-ons. When talk about Red Hat, because RHCE includes everything that most people need to run a Linux server, some components require extra support. Or for reason, they are offering to add ons in RHCL. The most significant kinds of add-on RHCL is XFS and RSL clustering services. So this is the first one. When talk about file, because the enterprise file system offers full scalability for large environments where many files or very large files has been controlled on a large file system. So even though ext4, the default file system Red Hat Enterprise Mix has been optimized significantly over time and still does not feel well in environments that have very specific storage needed, such as need to stream multimedia files or handle hundreds of thousands of filters per day. Then we have second one is the Red Hat cluster service, because RHCS offers high availability clustering to vital services in the network. So in RHCS cluster, user can specialize cluster software on multiple nodes that are provided in the cluster, and the software monitors the availability of a vital services. If anything goes down with such a services, Red Hat cluster services takes over and makes sure that service is launched on or another cloud, or against another node. So we have a lot of other things that we discussed. We have Red Hat directory service. So in a corporate environment where many user accounts has to be managed, it does not make sense to managing these accounts in standalone systems and individual servers. So one solution is to have servers handle their authentication external directory services. As an example of this approach is to connect RHCL or Microsoft Active Directory, an approach that is used frequently by many Red Hat users. And another approach is Red Hat Directory Services, a dedicated LDAP directory services that can use to store, manage corporate identities. So next we had virtualization as RHCE. This provides a virtualization platform that can be compared with other solutions, like such as VMware, vSphere. In RHCE, several dedicated servers running KVM hypervisor are managed through RHCE -M. So because the management server for virtual environment, in RHCE, the infrastructure fully installed RHCL servers as a dedicated to Iron hypervisors can be used. So major reason why the components around the globe are using RHCE is because it offers the same durability and vSphere and VMware vSphere, but not for fraction of the price. And we have Red Hat Cloud, because Red Hat Cloud is a solution where everything comes together. It is a low layer of the cloud infrastructure. Red Hat can offer platform as a service that are based on RHCE or any other virtualization platform. So at the PaaS layer, so on the Red Hat Cloud helps deploy virtual machines on demand easily. So it is the higher layer of the cloud, and cloud helps deploy virtual machines on demand easy and in a high layers of the cloud combined with JBoss enterprise middleware. Red Hat Cloud deliver software as a service, which is helping users to build, maintain the cloud infrastructure top of the Red Hat software. Next is installing Red Hat Enterprise Linux server. So there is a version of RHCL server for almost any hardware platform. This means a user can install on mainframe computer and mid-range systems. So a PC-based system server hardware is 64-bit architectures. Currently 64-bit version of Red Hat Linux is the most used version, and that is why you have to understand about Red Hat Enterprise Linux installation. The extract version that you need Red Hat Enterprise Linux installation server for 64-bit and 32-bit. So if you don't have the enterprise yet, you can just download it from redhat.com. So the ideal installation is on server grade hardware, but however you don't have to buy the actual server hardware if you want to just learn how to work with Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Basically a PC will do the long estimates for requirement, like one CPU, one RAM, 1 GB RAM, 20 GB of free disk space. So make sure that computer meets this requirement and work your way through these concepts. See, so user can run enterprise at Red Hat Enterprise Linux with less. That is, but if you do, you will miss certain functionality. For instances, user can install. User can work install with RHCL and machine that has 512 MB RAM. But you will lose the graphical user interface. That could also install RHCL 32-bit version or VMware VirtualBox or Oracle VirtualBox. But within this environments, user cannot configure KVM virtualization because KVM is something different type virtualization that supports only in Linux. So suppose if we don't have a dedicated computer, so this means which is install RHCS, a virtual machine is second best choice. RHCL can be installed in most virtual environments, and you want to run it to your own computer. The VMware workstation or VMware player, something, or Oracle VirtualBox is free virtualization solution provided by Oracle, and user can download VirtualBox there. So that's why. So Red Hat Enterprise Linux graphic environment is just some good graphical tools, and we need to have additional environments to reach them, and a typical Linux server that provides I can say typical that provides services data center does not have a graphical environment. So rather it runs on console mode. So that is because servers in data center normally are accessed only tendency, that is only remotely, and that the administrator of such a server can say server can still use geographical tools, but if you start them or SSH session accessing the server remotely, after later this after finishing at the time concept, you have to learn how to configure such an environment, and you have to know about how to install it and the Linux. So this is a normal process that you are seeing right now. So this is installing space on Linux. So this procedure, because we have some procedures to include how to install Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7 on computer. That's important exercise because you need to use it, set up demo system, and we have throughout this book. So it's important that you perform the steps exactly as described to us and to match the description to exercise. To perform this one, you have to have the entire computer can be dedicated with Red Hat Enterprise or minimum 1 GB RAM, a dedicated hard disk of 4 GB or DVD drive, and network card. So this all the things that what we have, and it is very easy to install Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7 because it will ask you a few questions only, and then automatically partition will be start to install. So when creating a partition, we have a lot of steps to understand, like available storage options we have in Linux. So we have some storage options like use all space, and then replace the existing Linux system. and then string current system, and then use this free space, and then free user space, and then create custom layout. So these are some storage options what we have in it. First of all, use all space. This is everything that is currently on your system hard disk to use all available disk space. This is typically the best solution for a server. Then come to replace existing Linux system. Because it removes, second one, removes existing Linux system only if found. So this option does not touch Windows or other applications if they exist on the computer. And then string system, that is a string system, current system, because we try to shrink existing partition so the free space is made available in this one and to install Linux. So using partitions typically isn't a drive. They say that the register is a dual boot computer. Usually dual boot computer is a bad idea in general. So specifically this option often has problems shrinking NTFS partitions and so use this option to install that uses free space. And trace cut, because this is the most difficult but also the most flexible option available. Using this option assume that you manually create all the paths, partitions and logically volumes that you want to use it in your system. So these all things are storage option beyond what we have available in Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Because Red Hat Enterprise Linux is easy to install, easy to deploy, all those things. So when come to genome interface of the Linux, so let me switch over my genome interface. Let me power off the Linux. So explore genome interface. See, now the server is installed, for example. So you have to get familiar with genome user interface. because on most servers the graphical interface is not enabled. So again, we have to get familiar with RHCE, and it's good at the genome interface anyway, because to make sure that yourself is known to be the Red Hat server, and you need to choose between two options. The best option is to click name of the I guess the username, user accounts that we have chosen between two options. The best option is to click the username that we created when installing the server and then enter the password for the user. It's easy to pick up the username list of all the user accounts that exist on the server displayed on the graphical login screen. So selecting username from the graphical login screen connects user with normal user enters to the server. This means we'll enter the server as a non-privileged user who faces server restrictions on the server. So this is talking. So this you can see number of users and just log into this. Alternately, this is come to graphical, because entity from graphical login screen, user can click other to enter the name of the another user for what to use to log in. So user can also follow this approach if you want to log in user root, but there are no limitations to when the user root can do, and it's very useful for but it is a bad idea to I can say that log on log on as by default. So pick the name of the user that you want to enter the password outer session authentication. This was the default genome desktop. This is a very common screen event that you're seeing right now here. This is a genome desktop, graphical desktop. And in first genome desktop, there are a few default elements which we have to be referred. That is genome menu bar and zero option application, and this is places and system. So this all things what we have in that the service Linux, and I think you can have some customization options inside the Linux that gives you more flexibility to work when traffic becomes more high inside the network. I hope you understand up to this. Next, to understand finding your way to on the command line, because Redhat Enterprise Linux is for systems configuration tools as a convenient way to change perimeters on our server, and because as a Linux administrator, I would like to work from the command line from the time to time. So every day, the most important management jobs are issued from command line. For this reason, the command introduces you with user with basic skill needs to work with the command line. So this is a command line terminal. So this is how we are interacting with this Linux kernel that is from this terminal. So that's why. So working with bash shell. Because see, to communicate commands to the operating system kernel, the interface is needed that sits between kernel and end user issuing these commands. And the interface is known as shell. Because several shells are available at RHCE, like bash shell, and then because bash is a distance of, can say, one against shell, is then that it's used to most situations. This is because it is compatible with that is bronze shell, which is commonly found in Unix server. So we should, however, be aware that bash is not only a shell that can be used. Because a practical list that shows, because we have three types of things here. So this is three types of things. But the first one is TCS, such a shell with an scripting language that works like a C programming language, and it is very popular. And ZSH is a shell that compatible with the bash but offer even more features and SAS. So this stands for standalone shell, and this is a minimal interface. The tools is complete all environments. Therefore, this is easy suited for every programming. So that is why. So that's why today Linux is the topmost operating system in this one, because it gives a lot of flexibility, storability, high availability, and it gives you the basic knowledge of working with files, folders, and also gives you the cutting edge knowledge of kernel and what type of kernel that previous Windows supports. 3. Okay. Now the kernel will be 3.8 or 4 like this. So the kernel is the one which is very important for us to execute the commands, execute the rest of the things. So I hope you understand these all things today. So I think you understand all those things. So we have a lot of things to explain about the Red Hat Enterprise Unix server. So it's just a topmost server operating system that refers as a high security, high availability, and high type of storages, and also it supports different types of implementations and deployments inside the Linux. I hope you understand today, and if you have doubts, please feel free to ask me. Otherwise, you can able to call me on that. So thank you so much, guys, for your time. See you back. Take care. Bye bye.